afternoon, it's midday and time for the news with me, Steve Weaver. The results are in for the general election and it's been an exciting 24 hours. Here's our political journalist Scott Jenkin to tell us more.
Hello. Thank you, Steve. This general election has certainly captivated the nation. Almost everyone was expecting a Tory landslide, but this afternoon we're far from it. Locally, Luke Pollard ran for Labour while trying to overturn a small majority in Sutton and Devonport. In Plymouth Moorview, Sue Dan took on Johnny Mercer, who had a far greater lead than his Conservative colleague, Oliver Colville. The political landscape has changed dramatically since Britain last went to the polls. The success of Brexit all but made UKIP redundant, and there were talks amongst the smaller central-left parties encouraging tactical voting. All of the talk added up to one outcome on the night, an increased vote share for the two major parties. Days before the election, calls of panic were made to the council as postal votes weren't delivered across the city. Somewhere in the region of 1,500 people seemed to be affected. I managed to speak with a few of the electorate at a very busy polling station. I found that a lot of people spoke of the same issues which helped them form their decision.
Schools, lack of school funding, lack of funding for the NHS and social care. There's those kind of issues.
I stayed at the polling station for 90 minutes. In that time, it was clear that a theme ran through all of my conversations.
Yeah, in 2015 I kind of didn't know where my loyalties lay because I didn't think there was a very electable. I was never going to vote Tory. I didn't think Ed Miliband was very electable.
Schools, I'm a school teacher, and just seeing the way schools are being dismantled by the current government, I just didn't want that to happen again.
Voting finished at 10 p.m. sharp, and the exit polls soon followed them. They predicted a hung parliament. And now, it's all eyes on Theresa May after she met with the Queen this lunchtime to form a minority government with some help from the Democratic Unionist Party. The question is, will this government last, or will we be heading back to the polls soon?
Devon resident Damon Smith has been charged with his failed terrorist attempt. With the country on high alert after the Manchester Arena bombing, there's a need for reassurance. Our local reporter Scott Ham has more on the issue.
Devon resident Damon Smith was a 19-year-old student studying forensic computing at London Metropolitan University when he became obsessed and influenced by ISIS after viewing various graphic and explicit videos online. Smith, who suffers from autism, built an explosive device packed with ball bearings and left it on the Jubilee line in London's Underground on the 20th of October 2016. He was arrested the following day after police traced his whereabouts through CCTV. Upon arrest, Damon Smith claimed it was all a prank. Smith was later charged and found guilty on the 3rd of May for possession of an explosive substance with intent. He was later sentenced on the 26th of May and jailed for 15 years.
The education in Plymouth is seeing some changes this summer, with student accommodation ever increasing and the ongoing move of City College Plymouth almost coming to a close. Plymouth is set to see some big changes. Our education reporters Lewis Eaton and Gina Williams have the latest.
As of late 2015, City College Plymouth was given the green light by the council to go ahead and begin the construction on the extension of the campus costing upwards £12.8 million. I spoke to a representative of the move and some students and staff to see what they had to say.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good for people here and more resources and things like that.
I think we are prepared. There will be challenges. Things will go wrong, but we don't know what those things are yet because we're moving to a new place and things are bound to go wrong. The plans are in place. Lots of meetings are happening. I think overall the college is ready for the move.
Students and staff are expected to vacate the Goshen Centre by early July, but the new campus is set to open its doors to students and staff for the beginning of the academic year 2017.
Collectively, there were 23,000 students for the 2015 academic year. 10,000 of which were between the ages of 18 to 20. A member of Plymouth City Council said, and I quote, "We are now a university city with a population of 35,000 students, but we don't have enough student halls of residences, and many of them are forced to live in private rented accommodation when they should be living in a managed environment close to the universities. The Student Housing Company, a private international company, seems to be taking full advantage of this. Currently ongoing is the building of a 23-storey high-rise skyscraper, which, when completed, will be inclusive of 507 bedrooms, housing over 4 times that."
The regeneration of Plymouth isn't stopping just at education. The investment into Central Park and Brettonside are gaining more momentum and attention. Located next to Alma Road in Plymouth, Central Park has had a grant approved of up to £2.5 million to restore and revitalise the area. With work set to be complete by the end of 2018, this could see one of Plymouth's biggest parks' public usage begin to rise. I went and spoke to some of the people who used the park to see what they had to say about it.
I think it's a good idea. There's lots of things that could be put right in the park. There aren't any toilets for one thing. There aren't very many benches. They've recently redone the litter bins and there aren't really quite enough of them anymore.
It's a massive asset for the city. It's a huge park that that everyone can take advantage of. So yeah, for it to get more facilities, I think is fine. Yeah.
Investment in Plymouth is becoming a trend now, as the development of the old coach station located at Brettonside is set for a £42 million cash injection. Companies are lining up to be a part of this new venture, which includes a 12-screen Cineworld. Councillor Lowry, who has been at the forefront of this project, said that work has already begun in January just gone, and the people will begin to see the transformation of Brettonside this summer. I went down to speak to the people who live and work around Brettonside to find out what they thought of this.
It seems to some extent a bit of overkill in terms of, I know it's another cinema chain, but you've already got that at the Warner Village. Again, it's not a lot of more like chain restaurants and retail outlets, and I'm wondering about how that's going to affect like the more independent outlets in Barbican, etc.
The heavy traffic in Plymouth, particularly at Derriford roundabout, has caused major congestion in and around the city. Here's Rhys Hartman to give us more information on the matter.
Roadworks continue to cause traffic jam throughout Plymouth, outraging local residents. Today is Friday the 19th of May, and here is the traffic update. The recent roadworks on Tavistock Road have left local residents disgruntled after causing yet another traffic jam in a short span of a few months. The works, which cost a reported £12.7 million, have caused a number of problems in the local area since they began back in January. A number of buses have had to alter their routes and cut services in order to counteract the delays that have been caused by the substantial roadworks, which are set to continue until spring 2018.
Moving to entertainment now, the very successful MTV Crashes Plymouth is set to descend on the Ocean City this July, with the star-studded lineup being announced. Our entertainment reporter Scott Perkins fills us in.
Plymouth's popular music event returns for its fourth consecutive year as MTV Crashes Plymouth takes over the Hoe for 2 days of exciting live music. Past guests have included Kaiser Chiefs, Rudimental, Tiny Temper, Little Mix, Jess Glynn, and this year looks to deliver once again excellent chart-topping acts, including Sigma, Martin Garrix, Louisa Johnson, Rewire and Varsky, Gorgon City, Wilkinson, and recently announced Busted. The event, presented by MTV in partnership with Plymouth City Council, takes place on Thursday the 27th and Friday the 28th of July, with tickets available now in partnership with Plymouth Pavilions and cost £15 per night, with a £2 booking fee, with an event pass available for £27.50 plus the booking fee.
The new football season is looming, and promoted Plymouth Argyle are looking to make it a successful start. Mike Parrish reports.
On the back of Argyle's promotional campaign from the 2016-17 season, Argyle have released 9 first-team players, and a busy summer will be ahead for Argyle boss Derek Adams. Martin Starnes, the chief executive of Plymouth, outlined what will be needed over the course of this summer.
Okay, I think the first challenge is going to be recruitment. It'll be a question of finding the right players at the right price, really.
Argyle fans are looking forward to next season. Here's what some of them had to say.
Well, as an Argyle fan, you'd like to think that if teams like Brighton and Bournemouth, cities being of that kind of size, Hull, for example, Plymouth's, equivalent to those types of cities, we should have a Premiership football team, ideally.
In the next 5 years, if we're looking to kind of progress on sort of at the rate that we're doing at the moment, we want to be pushing maybe League One within the next Championship within the next probably season or two.
One of the most exciting campaigns for Argyle in recent years has given the faithful Green Army reason to be optimistic for the coming season. But now is a time to reflect on a successful promotional campaign.
While summer is officially upon us and festival season is off to a great start in Plymouth, the famous Royal William Yard hosting an array of bands and performances for the visitors, our reporter Mike Parrish was on the scene for us.
The first Royal William Yard Festival kicked off over the second bank holiday in May. Already in wonderful surroundings, the festival looked to incorporate the best bands and artists from the ever-popular local music scene. Organisers of the event, Craig Roxburgh and Jim Pascoe, were only given the green light 3 months prior to the date outlined. The duo were able to put together a wonderful weekend with help from local businesses and students of City College Plymouth.
find somebody else.
With the construction of 8 stages dotted around the yard, ranging from a secret garden jazz and blues stage to a Balearic Sundowners set, there was something for everyone's musical taste. With appearances from folk chart topper Seth Lakeman and 90s legendary DJ Jazzy B, the festival had an A-lister feel to it. With other great local acts ranging from Double Denim to the big sets, there was never a dull moment. The weather just about held out over the weekend, and festival goers were full of praise for the Royal William Yard to host this festival as an annual event.
And finally, McDonald's has joined the expanding fast food restaurants that are ready to deliver to your door. The Gina Williams has more.
McDonald's has been listed as another fast food branch that will be joining the home delivery service. I was able to catch up with persons outside of McDonald's who was more than eager to share their thoughts.
How do you feel about McDonald's doing the home delivery service?
Fantastic. I love it, especially if you've got kids. It's great.
It's a good thing because obviously people have to leave the house, but it's just going to make more people lazy.
McDonald's will be conducting a trial delivery service to a few branches around the UK. Deliveroo and Uber Eats have joined in to assist in the home delivery that will start early June of this year.
That's the latest. More in an hour.